To the Unintangibles. My name is Mo Aurora, joined as always by Jeff Shawella. Week 15 is upon us. The playoff semifinals for most leagues, good leagues, let's say. But it's the playoffs nonetheless. So let's starting with tonight. The Los Angeles Chargers. I almost called them the San Diego Chargers. The San Angeles Chargers.
San Angeles, baby.
Jeff Shawella, my co-host. Welcome. How do you feel about tonight's game?
I feel that it's a funny game because Spencer Ware is not going to play. Austin Eckler is not going to play. I think Melvin Gordon is going to play. He traveled with the team. It's a big game. It's the Chargers game. They need this a little more, I think, than Kansas City. They need to make a statement. I think it's going to go well for the Chargers. I'll note that Evan Silva pointed out on Twitter yesterday that home teams are 12-3 on Thursday nights, so the Chargers are up against it. Kansas City is favored by 3.5. I like the Chargers in this game, and I don't know why.
I was going to say, why?
I just feel that the Chargers are going to be consistent. They're going to run their game plan, and I think that Tyreek Hill is banged up.
Yeah,
I think that the Kansas City does not really have the ground attack right now that they want to have. They don't have a thumper at all right now.
Uh-huh.
So Damien Williams is a big drop-off, even from Spencer Ware, probably.
Yeah, if Ware were healthy, I would say I would still lean Kansas City just because, you mentioned that stat on Thursday night. It makes sense, right? Because the teams traveling on a short week would have a much harder time than the teams at home on a short week. I think if Ware were healthy, I would say that the Chiefs' offense is pretty much full strength. And even though they're Los Angeles is a more complete team. And normally I would say the Chiefs having the best offense you've ever seen and an NFL defense is still better than a balanced team. But the Chiefs offense, now they're down to the third string running back, even though Damien Williams has actually been really good. And if you picked him up in the last week or two, then he's a pretty good start tomorrow, I think. But at some point, we've talked about this before with other teams. At some point, if you lose guys, you're not as good, right? And the Chargers are. I think the Chargers have the defense to have a big night, and they have the offense to not make that defensive effort go to waste. And I think Kansas City, as good as they are and as good as they've been, they are kind of one-dimensional. And I think losing one more guy, also Hill's banged up, like you said. At some point, if they're just all offense and just enough D, well, what if their offense isn't what it is?
Yeah,
and it's hard, man. Yeah, I'd have a hard time. If you have Chiefs on your fantasy teams, I think you're still excited to start them. But are they really this good, or is the clock ticking on them? I wonder.
I think it was an emotional victory on Sunday over the Ravens. That was big. They definitely. Some key players got injured in this game. There's not a lot of turnaround here. And I just think, like you said, the Chargers are a more complete team. I can see Keenan Allen having another big game against that.
Can I just say, by the way, Keenan Allen is outstanding. He doesn't quite get he doesn't get mentioned in the same group as, if he's not in the Antonio Brown, Odell Beckham, Julio Jones category, I don't see why he's not in the DeAndre Hopkins, Michael Thomas, Keenan Allen category.
Yeah.
Right?
He definitely should be. I don't know what it is about Keenan Allen that doesn't have him in those categories, but he definitely should be.
Maybe because he plays on the 8th most popular team on the West Coast. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, obviously, he's always solid. He knows how to run routes. His hands are just stuck to the ball every time. He's just an amazing player.
He's route running. He's excellent, and he's been great lately. And I don't know, man. It's as great as the Chiefs are, and as very good, at least, as the Chargers are. It's still kind of amazing to think there's a good chance that Keenan Allen is not a bad bet to be the best player on the field in that game.
I think it's the return of Melvin Gordon too, in my opinion.
That'll help too.
I think they held him out for this game. This is just a big statement game. I think Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram. It's going to be a big game for those guys to chase down Mahomes. They're not the same defense that they were because they've lost some players, but Derwin James is there. I don't know. I have a feeling that this 12-3 for home teams is going to break a little this week. I can see the Chargers winning this game. Although
do you think the Chargers are going to win, or are you rooting for the Chargers to win for any reason?
They're going to win, and I'm kind of rooting for them too because I'd like to see them actually break through. They never break through. I want to see Rivers get his due a little.
Yeah, I get that. At the same time, though, is it Rivers not getting his due, or does Rivers get exactly his due because the Chargers always kind of fall apart late in the season? I wonder. Like, I like the Chargers. I like individual players on the Chargers, and I think they've had a great season. They're a good team. The only thing, though, is there's a part of me that's like, we've seen the Rams tailing off a little bit, and maybe that's overstating it, but we've seen it. I don't want the Chiefs to also start tailing off. I don't want it to be that the two best teams in the league thus far were never the same after they played each other. You know what I mean? And it's like the Chiefs did beat Baltimore, and that's a quality win. So it's not like they're not the same or anything. But I guess I just want another 100-point game. Is that fair? Is that fair to ask?
Well, yeah, Vegas has it at 56.5 as the total, and that's pretty high for Thursday night too. So, I guess
it is, but that doesn't seem that high, does it?
It is high. It's pretty high. I mean, like if it's anything over 50, is considered pretty high. So the Rams-Chiefs game, that total for that game on Monday night was 63.5. That was like the all-time high.
It wasn't even close. Like,
but
I get it. It makes sense. But like, I feel like that a 56.5, that's the over/under not reacting enough maybe to how the season has gone, or maybe hey, it's December, things slow down. I don't know, but that seems low to me. I'm not a gambler, and I'm not a gambling expert, so don't take my advice. But I think the over would be the call.
So can you start Damien Williams in this game?
I think I think so, because look, if you had Ware, you would have been starting him, right? And if you have Williams, then there's a good chance that you only got him because you had Ware, if you have two better options to start, then what are you worried about, right? But I think Williams has looked really good, and the starting running back on Kansas City is a lucrative position to have. You might as well.
So PPR definitely, I'd say for sure.
Yeah.
For standard, would you start Kenyon Drake over Damien Williams?
No, I think I'd start Williams. I really do. Yeah, I mean, if there's no Ware, then yeah, I'd start Williams.
Would you start Phillip Lindsay against Cleveland or Damien Williams?
That's a good question. Probably Lindsay.
Although he let everyone down last week because he didn't do much. The Broncos were just a huge letdown against the Niners altogether. That was disappointing because they had something to play for, and they did not show up for that game. So
yeah, that is disappointing. It's weird. I mean, also, I don't know. Saturday games. Saturday's weird. I don't know. No. I think. Yeah. I mean, look. If Ware's out and Williams is the guy, I feel like you got Williams on your team because you expected him to be a handcuff. He wasn't just random bench depth. He was a specific handcuff, and I think if you're in this situation now, like, I think he's your guy.
And obviously you have to start Tyreek Hill. He's taking you this far, so he's going to be there. Although Casey Hayward will probably be on him. So
if Hill's playing, then you have to think he's healthy, and again, like, I guess wide receiver, you have more options, right? I suppose, because you can have a bunch of marginal wide receivers, and one of those guys is better than a guy who's injured and not going to play, but like. You don't. If Hill's playing, you have to assume that he's Hill, right? Like,
yeah,
got to. He's one of the guys that you got. He's one of the guys that you traded for at the deadline. He's one of the guys. You know what I mean? Like, he's just like, yeah. I don't know. You gotta dance with the one you brought. I don't know. I forget that expression. I've had a little bit of scotch tonight. I'm not quite myself. Yeah.
So Pat Mahomes, obviously, you're starting. The Ravens made him look human for most of that game. If he didn't make that crazy completion in the fourth quarter, his fantasy day would not look as good as it did.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. I think whatever though, man. He's still the best fantasy quarterback in the league. Like
definitely is.
What are you gonna do? Who are you gonna start instead of him?
Yeah.
Who do you have that you could reasonably start ahead of him? Nobody. It's Mahomes or bust. That's it.
It is hard to predict what's going to happen. I mean, we looked at the Vikings-Seahawks game, and everyone probably had them scoring more points than they did on Monday night.
Unbelievable. So let me ask you this. So Mahomes is a lock, but there are a lot of people that have Rivers and somebody else worth starting. Do you start Rivers in this game?
100%.
Obviously, depends on who you have, but just in general, do you like Rivers better or worse than wherever he may be ranked this week?
I haven't looked at rankings this week, but I'm guessing he's probably 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And I am very comfortable starting Rivers. I know it's on the road in Kansas City on Thursday night, but the Chargers might be playing from behind in this game, and the Rivers is just passing the ball anyways. I know Gordon is there, but they're not going to give him 25 touches right off that injury. So,
I think, this game matters. The Chargers have looked better than the Chiefs, for a long stretch now. And, I don't know, man, because it's whoever else you might have along with Rivers, there's very little chance that you feel as good about that other quarterback and their team and what they're playing for and how good they're playing. I think anybody who has Rivers and somebody else, Rivers probably has been making himself the starter on your team, right?
So how many touchdown passes did Mahomes have on Sunday against the Ravens? 2 or 3?
He had 2. He had 2 and 1. 2 and 1. So we were mostly right, I think, but we were a little bit wrong. I was a little bit wrong because I always talked about with Mahomes, you don't get pedestrian days. You just get a lot of bad with a lot of good. So I was thinking 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. It was 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. So that was actually kind of pedestrian, but he still threw for 377 yards, which was not. So I was still kind of mostly right. But
he has 43 touchdowns on the season with 3 games left. It's very conceivable he's going to score 50, throw 50 touchdowns this year.
He might score 55, man. It's outstanding.
Is 50 in the bag, Mo?
I don't know about in the bag, but yeah, I'll say so because I don't think that. Well, it depends. It depends if the Chiefs win on tonight, I should say. Then maybe not, because then there's a good chance that they might not have someone to play for all the way through. But if the Chargers win tonight, then I think 50's in the bag because I think the Chiefs will have home field advantage to play for.
Yeah. This isn't a resting your players situation, I don't think at all. So
it's great that the 2 best teams in the AFC are in the same division because that means. Because A, there's a lot of fantasy players on both teams, and B, neither of them have a rest situation, for us to worry about. So I don't know. I think it'll be a great game. I think, boy, would I have loved both teams to be at full strength for this game. When the way both of their seasons have gone, I've been looking forward to this for a while. It's a little bit frustrating that it's not quite all the cast of characters that we wanted to see, but they're still 2 of the best teams in the league, 2 of the best offenses. So it'll be a great start to everyone's fantasy matchups because everyone's going to spend Friday and Saturday and Sunday morning either feeling good, feeling nervous. Who knows?
It's impressive. The Chargers do have one of the best offenses, but they don't really have a number 2 receiver. They have a Pro Bowl running back. They have a Keenan Allen. And then they have just a cast of characters, basically.
Yeah. They have 3 wide receiver 3s.
I mean, that's why it's impressive that people consider the Chargers to have a great offense, and they do.
Yeah.
but they on paper they don't really match up. I mean, they don't have. I mean, Hunter Henry I thought was going to be a big loss, but they didn't. They haven't seemed to miss him that much. So
Yeah, I think what it is like it's not the Chargers aren't all that convenient from a fantasy perspective because it isn't like you have Rivers, you have Gordon, you have Allen, and this guy. It's like you have Rivers, you have Gordon, you have Allen, and then Terrell Williams, Mike Williams, Travis Benjamin sometimes. Like, take your pick, you know? And it's because they're a good offense.
yeah.
But for fantasy purposes, it's frustrating. Like, I can tell you somebody who's on Mike Williams in one of my leagues, waiting for him to, like, put together 2 games in a row so I can trade him. And he couldn't, you know? He looks great one week, disappears the next, and he's just on a bench, you know?
As if I were a Chargers fan, I would be pumped because Hunter Henry is still hoping to get back this season in the playoffs.
Oh, wow.
I think that would be a huge boost for the team if Hunter Henry was able to make it all the way back and get cleared to play in a playoff game. That would be awesome.
That would be. It would be and I imagine that, like, if he came back, it would be because he's 100% healthy, right? There isn't any, like, Hunter Henry's going to come back to play hurt, right? I mean, they're not going to – it would only be worth it if he was fresh, if he was healthy, if he was, like, strong, right? So, I mean, if that can happen, oh, my God. You know what that would be like? That would be like in was it – I guess it was 2016, the year that the Cubs won the World Series a couple years ago. They had this one guy, Kyle Schwarber. He must have had the best season of any baseball player ever because he was hurt all year, and he showed up just in time for the World Series and just in time to play DH. And it was like, and he won a World Series. Like,
that's a great appearance, man.
Yeah. So if Hunter Henry could have a Kyle Schwarber kind of season, he just shows up and, like, carries the Chargers to a Super Bowl. That would be amazing, right?
Eric Berry is making his debut tomorrow night too. So for the Chiefs, that's a big lift. That might make Keenan Allen's night a little tougher. Although I think Keenan Allen is matchup proof personally, but I think that'll be an emotional lift for the Chiefs. I still think the Chargers win this game. If not, I think they're going to cover. I don't know why I feel that way, but
what's the line?
3.5.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it sounds like you think the Chargers can win this game.
Yeah,
and I'm open to that idea at the very least.
Yeah, I just feel it's about time the Chargers put up or shut up because they've always faded at this time. So,
yeah, this is usually the time of year when they turn into a pumpkin, but we'll find out if they're for real.
Anyways, I'm looking forward to watching the game, and thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy the game tonight.